Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the NXT report for the 8th of June 2021. Better than average show for NXT tonight, going into their In Your House network preview on Sunday. Show opens with a grudge match. Johnny Gargano and Pete Dunne get into a brawl earlier today, and their stablemates also appear. Thus, the opening match on tonight's NXT leads to Oni Lorcan defeating Austin Theory. Lorcan pins Theory after a Uranagi, and Theory is distracted by Dunne and Gargano brawling. Good match finish is, well, WWE-rific because they don't really care about their talent. And I say that almost every WWE show, mainly because at the end of the day, they view it as vaudeville. They view it as story more than logic, and unfortunately, that eventually catches up with most people. It's not good for the long-term future of the business. Anyway, so both have a lot of fire and hardness at the start. Fans don't really know who to cheer for and just kind of split down the middle, but I guess the Shades of Grey give them an idea that they could turn either way. Match itself is action packed from the start, and they go at it. Theory does some decent moves. Lorcan is vicious along the way as well. Um, there's a bunch of hard chops, and ultimately that leads to good things there. Um, and then the fight goes to the outside. They trade chops in the interim, and Lorcan traps Theory, and Theory bumps into the apron. Dunne walks down to ringside, and show cuts to a commercial because, of course, it does. Lorcan works over Theory and over his back during the break, and Lorcan seemed to be in control. Show returns. Theory pops up and delivers a blockbuster, and that turns the tide for the pacing of the match. Theory clotheslines Lorcan out of the ring. Lorcan returns and throws Theory to the outside. Theory fires up, and there's a bunch of offense. Gargano comes to ringside and brawls with Dunne. Officials pour out, and it distracts from the match, so why should we care about the match? Theory is then distracted by all of this, allowing Lorcan to smash Theory's head into the top turnbuckle. Lorcan then hits a Uranagi and gets a win. Vignette of LA Knight doing a spoof on some old MTV Cribs style show. And then, so Knight is at a big house on the beach. Two women are hanging out with him, and they're in a hot tub. They laugh and joke, and Knight cuts promo on Ted DiBiase, and then Knight drives away in a sports car. Doc Hendricks, aka Michael Hayes, is back on WWE television. Run down In Your House like it's 1995. Anyway, so what we get for the In Your House promo is the following. Women's Championship, Raquel Gonzalez and Ember Moon. Cameron Grimes and LA Knight. Mercedes Martinez and Xia Li. Fatal 5-way for the championship. Karrion Kross with Scarlett. Versus Cole versus Dunne versus Gargano versus O'Reilly. Another match is set in the next segment. El Legado del Fantasma is in the ring for a promo. Santos Escobar is angry with Bronson Reed. Reed comes out to interrupt him. Reed jokes about squishing Escobar. Last week with a splash, Reed has the replay shown. Reed gets in the ring to confront him. MSK run down and break up things with Reed. Escobar challenged Reed and MSK to a trios match where the champions titles are on the line. Both the North American and tag team titles are on the line apparently, and the winner takes all, which is kind of goofy. And then all 6 men agree to this, and they re-show the splash thing. So apparently that is a match for the Takeover Hit Row. Enters the scene for the match. They walk past Legado del Fantasma and the two factions are ready to go. Isaiah Swerve Scott with Hit Row defeats Killian Dane with Drake Maverick. Scott pins Dane after he's distracted by Hit Row. Not a bad match, but the distraction finish kills it. Anyway, Dane is getting the better of Scott throughout, and Scott powers to the outside. Top Dollar causes a distraction, and then Scott jumps up. Dane hits a sneak attack. Dane then fights back to drop Scott with a lariat, and then Hit Row creates another distraction. This time, B-Fab is distracted. Dane and Scott capitalize on the work over Dane, and then Dane basically does a power up and hits a bunch of strikes on Scott. Dane then begins to toss him around like he's nothing. Scott springboards on the ropes and flips upside down and lands on his feet. And then I gotta grab my phone, so we will be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. And at the end, what we look at with things like this Legado del Fantasma and other programs that are thrown together, that's what this really is. These programs do seem, in part, or at least in half part, to be thrown together. The Isaiah Squad with Hit Row does seem to be a program that, or a faction that they're committed to, at least in part. They go to a counter with Dane, and Scott delivers a flatliner in the midst there after Dane had kind of done the Hulk up routine and lands on his feet. Dane meets Scott with a crossbody for a near fall after that, and then Top Dollar then grabs Maverick, and Top Dollar drops Maverick on the apron with a Death Valley driver in the midst here. Dollar's distracted by Maverick being attacked, and Scott strikes another move measuring Dane. Scott then hits a leg drop and a kick, and then covers Dane for a 3 count. And then, Cameron Grimes is in a vignette next, making a case for why he should carry on the legacy of the $1 Million Man. This is actually quite funny. He's got a big house like Knight was at earlier. Grimes is way more entertaining with this process than Knight was, and he vows to take the $1 Million Man's legacy to the moon. And Poppy arrives at the building with Candice LeRae. She's not happy. She's vocalizing anger over Poppy alongside the Women's Tag Team Championship partner, Indy Hartwell, and then LeRae's angry with the singer. And I mean, I don't even understand the benefit of all this Poppy stuff. Mercedes Martinez wins a squash match that is literally a squash match. I don't even remember if they mentioned the name of her opponent. Xia Li attacks before the match. Li and Martinez brawl at ringside until they're separated by officials. Martinez rolls out of the ring and faced an unannounced opponent, and then she runs into a knee strike by Martinez, follows by the air raid crash. Martinez scores a pinfall quickly. Breezango cuts a promo on Imperium, and I guess there's going to be a feud between the two of them that way. Triple H and William Regal are backstage with Poppy, and then they executives are grooving with her music. Triple H asks when her album drops. Poppy says right now, and then she pulls out her cell phone, taps a button, and the album is dropped on the WWE Universe. Triple H is amazed by the technology, and then Dexter Lumis approached Poppy with a picture he had drawn of her. Poppy is so happy with the picture, she gives Lumis a hug. Indy Hartwell walks in time to see Lumis and Poppy hugging, and then Hartwell is very upset by this, and she runs away in tears. What a waste of perfectly good talent. Anyway, priceless announcement by the $1 Million Man. Cameron Grimes and LA Knight arrive at the building for the segment. Ted DiBiase does a bit of comedy, and each try to upstage the other. They enter the uh, CWC to join DiBiase in the ring. DiBiase said that Sunday is the ultimate test, and this is time for them to climb the ladder of success. DiBiase laughs, and the ladder is painted gold and lowered into the ring from the ceiling. DiBiase indicated that this would indeed be a ladder match. Kind of a wasted segment in the sense of ladder match between two guys that really haven't had a feud. Doesn't really make a whole bunch of sense. Knight cuts promo running down Grimes, and Grimes responds with a promo of same. Grimes grows more animated before he rips into sports jacket, and then obviously he's going to take things to the moon. Grimes asked what he's reaching for, and the briefcase was brought into the ring by the guards. Inside the case, $1 million championship belt. Grimes versus Knight is now for the $1 million championship. I guess this makes sense, although they could have built it a little bit better. Everrise announced they're hosting the pre-show for the In Your House event on this coming Sunday. Grizzled veterans Drake and Gibson defeat August Gray and Akimen Hero. Gibson pins Gray to win the bout. Basically an enhancement talent match here. Hero is in a sports coat, which obviously you don't see that every day. Ciampa and Thatcher are out to ringside with folding chairs. They sit down and watch the match. Gray is able to catch the vets slipping while they get hit at ringside. And then the Grizzled Young Veterans exchange words with Ciampa and Thatcher. This sets up a Texas Tornado match for their dealings next Tuesday on NXT. Hard to keep all these shows straight with 8 shows a week of first run content. Bobby Fish has his sights set on Oni Lorcan, which will undoubtedly be a good match. Io Shirai returns. Candice LeRae storms into the ring. She's upset by the Poppy situation being there and all of that. Poppy enters the arena, gets a full entrance like she's wrestling and some sort of superstar. Shirai rushes into the ring and she attacks LeRae, who has gotten into Poppy's face. And after Tiger Fey kick, Shirai delivers a missile drop kick and sends LeRae rolling out to the ring. Shirai then stands tall alongside Poppy, who, is, I guess, going to be a regular celebrity for them. And the missile drop kick from Io Shirai sends LeRae rolling, so I guess that means Shirai and LeRae will be feuding at some point. So then Doc Hendricks runs down the card for the In Your House deal again. And we've got 2 more segments left here. Ember Moon defeats Dakota Kai with the NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez by disqualification. Gonzalez interferes for the DQ. And obviously a lame finish because that's all WWE does these days. Decent match during the start until Kai gains an advantage with a series of cheating moves. Kai twice does the face wash, and Moon is in peril for a while. Moon hulks up and then makes a comeback. Moon proceeds to clean house with Kai ahead of a couple of near falls. Kai cuts Moon off. Moon is rammed into the ring post. Before a commercial break, Moon then sells throughout the commercial, but Moon is making a comeback when the show returns. From the break, Moon is running wild on Kai. Kai then fights back with a series of kicks. Moon then hits a modified stunner. Kai then counters with a Blade Runner for a near fall. Kai hits with a series of Kawada kicks and face wash for another near fall. Moon counters and delivers a power bomb for a count of 2.5. And then we see Gonzalez at ringside tries to attack Moon, but Moon rocks with the champ and a couple of punches along the way. Moon then hits a tope dive to the outside, takes out both Gonzalez and Kai on the outside. Moon follows up, climbing the turnbuckle, going for her finish, but Gonzalez jumps up and boots Moon off the ropes. Referee then calls for the DQ. Gonzalez checks on Kai. Gonzalez saved Kai from a near defeat, which continues to be the story for them. Then the final five-way face-off as part of the go-home segment, which actually felt like it dragged for a while. NXT champion Karrion Kross and Scarlett cut a promo ahead of the closing segment. After the commercial, champions in the ring with Regal for the face-off segment. Regal is trying to lay the law down. Kross is having none of it. Kross said NXT has been out of control for a long time. Kross said he's not leaving until the four of them come down and get their, tails kicked. Anyway, Kyle O'Reilly's first to answer the call. O'Reilly cuts a promo and concludes with him saying it's a matter of time before a guy like me walks down here and takes the championship off of you. Gargano is out next. He says that there's some sick burns by O'Reilly, and Gargano makes fun of O'Reilly's blue jeans and the jean jacket. Gargano stands on the announce table, cut a promo on Kross, and eventually Kross calls him a mark. Pete Dunne out next, interrupts. Dunne said he's sick of all the talking and that he's tired of waiting around. Cole appears on the video screen and calls the rest of them chumps. Cole cuts another strong promo on Kross for the second week in a row. Obviously, the idea being that Cole is the best wrestler in NXT. O'Reilly calls Cole a bunch of derogatory terms, some of which were not PG rated. Anyway, and mocks him for not being there in person. O'Reilly said that he's not himself. Kross then asks O'Reilly who he is, and O'Reilly responds by slapping Kross in the face, and then a brawl erupts, and security runs down. Kross suplexes everybody like he's trying to clean house and almost be an MMA fighter. Security grabs Kross, and Gargano hits super kick on him. Dunne attacks Kross. O'Reilly jumps into this and stands tall for a few seconds. Kross then goes after O'Reilly with forearm strikes from behind. Kross is celebrating, and then he's blindsided by Cole. Cole is in the building after all. Cole super kicks Kross, and then Cole delivers the last shot to the champ. Cole picks up the belt, and Cole holds the belt over his head. Cole once again stands tall, and we all wonder who's going to leave with the belt come Sunday. And we'll be back with more right after this.